Welcome to The Authentic Life of KL, the podcast where we throw out the rule book, where we dive in head first to the real and raw, unapologetic journey of living the best life. That includes lots of music. This is your go-to space for empowerment, for deep healing and owning your authenticity like the boss that you are. We're here to break down walls and slay self-doubt. Vibe to the soundtrack of your soul. With every beat and lyric, we'll move through stories that heal and empower. You can live your fullest and most badass life. Welcome to The Authentic Life with KL. Hey guys, it's Kitty. Today I have with me Corey James, the singer of Carbonstone. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's the weekend.
It is. And I'm glad. I'm very glad that it's the weekend. And I'm glad we're doing this on a Friday because it kind of gives us the weekend, right?
Yes, it does.
Do you have
Good.
plans this weekend?
Yeah, actually, we have a 10-hour studio session tomorrow, so we're currently working on the new album.
So still working, but at least it's fun work. Yes.
It's fun work. Absolutely.
It's fun work. So talk to me a little bit about your band and kind of introduce us to your band and what it's about.
Obviously the band's kind of like industrial metal, new metal-ish. We've been around for a while. We actually did a whole giant hiatus back in 2014 and went through some crazy shit back then, but decided to bring it back in 2018, and it's just been kind of like this giant train since then. But yeah, it's been a crazy ride since then. I think we've accomplished more in the past 3 years than we ever have in our entire career, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. And I kind of went back through on Spotify and looked back at some of the music. Would you say that hiatus that you took was a big transformational point for you? It seems like the music is a little bit different.
Definitely. I've always wanted to take things like the industrial route.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan, huge Orgy fan.
Right.
And so we just didn't have, back in 2014, it really wasn't as accessible as it is now. So now with the capability for tracks and all the autoplay stuff, it's been awesome.
Yeah. And would you, I like to talk, I guess, because I'm older. So I like to talk about like the difference between like you used to see back, I won't say back in the 80s but the 80s kind of music and things like that. You saw all the big buses and you saw all those things and everything was so hidden behind closed doors and secretive. And now everything's just out in the open and there's not a lot of those big buses unless you're
unless you're big. Yeah, it's true. It's fucking true.
And everything's just accessible. So you can, get big doing just recording music, but you could also by chance get on YouTube or TikTok and then be found out and be just the next thing. So
which that actually blows my mind. You can spend your entire life, spending all this money, recording all this music, putting your passion out there. And then somebody on TikTok just makes a funny fucking video and instantly it's like, fuck.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be really music. I think one of my favorite things on TikTok, there's this guy, and since the election and just all the political stuff that goes on, he leans back and he has that surprise, and he like puts his leg up in the air. Like every single time something with this world happens, that's what he does. And now he's famous for it.
Yep. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So is it just you? Do you have a whole band that travels with you and kind of goes in together?
So there's a whole band. They're mainly live, but they're still brothers to me. And but for recording purposes, it's myself. I'll write the music, and then I take it to our producer, he's kind of like an unofficial band member.
Sure.
And then him and I kind of just tear the songs apart, rebuild them up, and
nice.
So that's how everything works. And then I'll present it to the guys and say, hopefully you guys like this.
Guess what you're doing?
That's how it works. You're playing it.
Love it. So tell me what inspires you. I want to say just what inspires you in life to kind of keep going, because I know music obviously would be one of those things, but what are some inspirations for you?
Oh man. Like I said, music's number one. I don't know, just the personal drive. You know what I mean? Because I had a lot of crazy shit happen to me back when I was a kid, and made a bunch of promises to myself back then.
Yeah.
that I would achieve goals, and so
Sure.
I'm very goal oriented as
Nice.
a human. So
Yeah.
um, just
Just
total drive.
just to keep going, keep going. Do you find
Keep-
that within your music that there's a lot of fans that connect the more authentic that you are with some of those lyrics and things like that, that they connect a little bit more?
Absolutely. And because I grew up listening to a lot of darker music, and I
Yeah.
found that when you're listening to something really dark and you're going through dark shit in your life, that's where that connection happens, and
Yeah.
and makes you feel better because you're like, oh shit, I'm not alone. I'm not
Yeah.
dealing with these emotions by myself. So it's really cool for me to be able to kind of give that back to our fans at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's pretty wild.
I think that I think it's crazy that we just in general as humans constantly think that we're alone in our feelings that
Yeah,
we have because we've been so just kind of separated by it. And I think that's something along with the podcast too, is that just bringing it out there that everybody feels so many of these things. And if we talk about it more, then suddenly it doesn't become that we're so separated because we all
that,
experience so many
that's
things.
right.
We experience grief and anger and jealousy and sadness and depression of some, sort. And so I think it really brings it to light on that.
It's not easy being a human.
It's really not.
It's not easy at
Sometimes
all.
I'm like, can I just be a cat? Like one that's taken care of good by a human, a good human. It'd be fine. A dog that's really loved, it's fine. You don't have
My
to go to
my
work.
my wife will appreciate that. We have a whole bunch of cats.
Do you? It was like,
Yes.
if I had to come back, I would want to come back as my own pet
Hmm.
because it would be
Absolutely.
great. Yeah, it'd be great. It would be great. So
Cats
how
rule.
has music impacted the way that you can move through life?
Uh, Again, it gives purpose.
Yeah.
I've learned throughout my entire life that no matter how dark shit gets or how bad of a mood you get in, or if you have a really bad day, if you turn on the right amount of music or right artist and listen to them and just kind of listen to the shit out of them,
Yeah.
it'll literally help you out. It can help you out of the darkest places. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It really does. It does. It was actually just such a driving force I went through. Again, I've gone through a lot of stuff too, when I was younger, but I lost my brother about 10 years ago and I
Oh shit.
found the band Otherwise, and I
Yep.
really really connected with some of their music. And so that's just really one of those things that I can say, like music's I've always been music. Like I was in the fan club for Slaughter. Like,
Nice.
like I
Nice.
loved music. It was hair bands when I was a teenager. But I would say like meeting, different bands and connecting with the other fans, knowing like, okay, they get it too. You find like this different family that's not necessarily the ones that, are there
Yep.
blood wise. So talk to me about some of your music. Is there a certain song or two that you feel like really represents you or holds more sentimental value to you as a musician?
I think, well, represent wise, I'd say we have a song called AM Trauma.
Hmm.
And I think that, for anybody that's not familiar with us, if you just want to get a full blown idea of what we are as a band, just listen to that song or watch that music video. I think that kind of sums everything up for us as a
Yeah.
group. Um, but yeah, that speaking of which, that entire music video was actually filmed in our living room.
Oh, I
So
like that.
if you haven't seen it, you have to go back and watch it. But it's
Yeah.
it's really crazy ass vampire music video.
Hey, that's good. I
Yes,
like
we're,
that.
we're we are all about the horror this way.
I am too. I am too. What is some of your I am assuming you mean horror films as well?
Yeah, yeah.
What is your some of your favorite horror films?
All of the Halloweens,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All the Friday 13th
Yeah.
and Nightmare on Elm Street, all the way.
Uh,
There's all those three mega
yeah.
movies are just
I love Freddy. I love
yeah,
Freddy.
yeah.
In fact,
Freddy's badass.
he is. I actually, as a teenager, this is probably disturbing to some people, but I had a giant Freddy Krueger poster on my ceiling, and his eyes glowed. And then some of my friends were like, "Hell no, I'm not sleeping at your house like you have that." But now I do have I have a 5-year-old grandson, and for Halloween we always have like the Freddy like glove and hat and stuff like that, and he always finds it every year, and
That's it runs around with it.
He has no idea, obviously, what it is. We don't let him watch that, but still, the
Oh
fact
yeah,
that it's just for me, it makes my heart happy. Watching him do that.
and it's crazy because back when I was a kid watching those movies, I didn't realize it's fucking Johnny Depp in the
I
first movie, and it's like holy fuck, that's kid Johnny Depp, man. It's crazy.
know,
It's wild.
I know. Some seriously crazy just moments and like memories, and even with some of those quotes that are within the movies and things like that. So,
Every Halloween, we make sure we watch all those movies. Every
yeah,
Halloween.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. Us too, us too. So I saw that Echoes is your newest release. Can you talk to me a little bit about that song?
So that song was actually really crazy. We recorded that it was last, I want to say March. Tony and I did, and we got that done. The song's just about dark self-reflection,
Yeah,
ultimately, and just kind of dealing with all the shit in your head, and it's kind of submitting to it
yeah.
lyrically in the hook. Um, but I also have to touch on that music video because that was hands down the most fucking stressful music video we've ever shot.
Was it?
So, oh my god! So, our videographer and my wife, they knew of this giant cemetery that should be open to the public on this day, and so all the band members they got there early and they start calling us while we're on the road. And they're like, dude, the gates are locked. And
Oh,
I never went there to scout this actual location. I was just
yeah.
taking everybody's word for it. So I'm total stress mode. So we finally get there. We spend probably about an hour. We end up getting in the cemetery,
Hmm.
and it's open to the public. So there's people there visiting their deceased loved ones and all this stuff.
Sure.
And we find this location and set up the whole fucking band, and obviously play live. We had generators rolling and all this shit. And there's people driving by, like filming us doing it. And I'm like, we're totally gonna get arrested because we didn't have a permit for it or
Right,
anything.
right, right.
So I'm sure I lost 10 years off my life just because of that entire day. So
I bet
um,
so.
if anybody hasn't seen the video, please
Yeah,
watch it because
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah,
Uh,
no. And I love cemeteries. I am just I'd say one of those odd, like I find them super peaceful. Now my best friend is a paranormal investigator, so she doesn't find them peaceful.
nice,
She likes to go,
nice.
and do that.
Yeah,
So either way, wherever we go, we end up somewhere in a cemetery. But
that's awesome.
do you know the phrase shadow work?
Yes, yes, shadow work. Yes.
Okay, that's kind of what the video remind or the song reminds me of, on that reflection of, because you always have that darker side, and it's like you really can. I mean, at some point we all kind of give in to
Yeah.
to the not nice thoughts in our mind, but like being able to pull yourself, up, definitely. But it reminds me of that inner demon fighting, the Echo
Yep.
song does for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely dark.
Yeah, yeah. What about the song Damaged Like You? I really uh, I know we talked briefly about songs, so I went in and listened to it a little bit deeper. And I feel this because I come from a family that doesn't necessarily know that they don't know that they're damaged. So so
Ah.
and I say that with the most love. Like they don't know the struggles that they have and the opportunity that they could have to learn and grow. And so for me, that's how I connected with that song. What was the behind the scenes on that one?
So I literally wrote that just for humanity as a collective that
Yeah.
everybody's fucked up in one way or
Yeah.
another. Whether you're 10 years old or you're fucking
Yeah.
80 years old, you something's trauma is very real,
Yes.
and when it happens, it attaches itself to you forever.
Yeah.
And anybody walking around saying that they're all
Yeah.
well put together is a fucking liar.
Oh
so
gosh. Yeah.
I literally wrote that song just about that. Just
Yeah.
yeah, everyone's damaged in
Yeah.
one way or another.
Yeah. It's such a
So
good connecting point again with that, because I think that I think you saying like it's just as humanity, like we're all fucked up in one way or another.
yeah,
And I think again, everybody thinks nobody understands, but if we would all understand, we actually do. It's just we haven't really had I guess the platform to constantly talk about it and be like, you fucked up, me too. I too.
yeah.
Like I
Hey,
totally
we're all
fucked up
fucked up.
too.
Hey, metalheads get it. The
Yeah,
metalheads
I
get it.
was like, no, we all really are. And you can do your own work and self-reflection and move through it. But you know what? As soon as you get through something, you find more shit that's been buried
That's
somewhere. So it's
that's
not a
right.
forever, ever ending, forever. You just do it forever.
Again, being a human is fucking tough.
All right. So we're down for being cats in the next lifetime that are taking
Yeah,
care of
absolutely.
good humans.
Yes.
So,
Oh
what
shit.
what kind of things do you have coming up in the future for you?
So big one. We're playing Incarceration Festival in Ohio.
Oh wow,
So we're playing Saturday with Marilyn Manson and Slipknot. So that's gonna be amazing.
oh, that'll be fun.
Um, yes. Our very good friends in Spine Shank, who just announced their 25th anniversary for Hydrocalysis, they're actually on the same day as us as well.
That's
So that's gonna be crazy. And we're fingers crossed. We're just waiting on a phone call. We might have a really big tour happening later this year. So
that's
that's
exciting.
I can't say much about the tour, but yeah,
That's all right.
it'll
That's
be
all right. That's
um,
exciting. It's always exciting to have those things happen, and it's exciting to go and play. I'm sure for you to play at festivals and things like that, but also get to see as well, not just play.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Uh, in Wisconsin, we'll be in Wisconsin in August for Northwoods Rock Rally. That's a big festival
Nice.
up over there too. So
Nice. Do you guys do a
yeah,
lot of touring around your city or state, or do you do that on occasion?
yeah, we do a whole bunch of joint state hopping. We do
Gotcha.
Pennsylvania, Maryland, all over the place. But members in the band, they've done all kinds of crazy stuff. Our drummer did a bunch of tours with Gemini Syndrome.
Oh, I
Um,
love them.
yeah, yeah, super super cool dudes.
Yeah, I
But
like
yeah,
that.
it's music, man. It's just fun getting out there and connecting. That's
It
what it's all
is.
about.
It is. And um I find that the more that I talk, I have certain, people that I'm friends with, but the more that I extend out of that everybody does know everybody, it's a
Yeah,
very small world, really, in the grand scheme of things, especially in the music world.
it is.
So where can people support you and go find you and financially support you guys and musically support you
Hey,
guys?
yeah. We do have a merch site. If you go to carbonstone.net, we do have a merch website all set up over there too. If you want to help financially support us, because this shit isn't easy.
No, no, and it's very
Yeah,
underpaid.
it
I
is
don't
extremely
I don't
underpaid.
I don't think people realize that. It's
Yeah,
so underpaid.
um,
Merchandise pays the bills sometimes.
it really does. I mean, recording one song recording is about $1,000 just for one song.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, fans can find us, all usual places: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you know,
Okay. And
and
then your
and we're super
music
active.
on Spotify and all the regular places as well.
Yeah, all
Okay.
the regular places. Yep, Apple Music and all that. So, hell yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. What are some musicians that inspire you musically? Maybe what are some musicians that you used to listen to? I know you said Nine Inch Nails, but that kind of inspired you through your childhood.
Through the childhood, actually, first band I ever listened to was the Rolling Stones. So, that was pretty wild. And then I found the Offspring, and I
Ah,
really, really connected with rock music through the Offspring.
yeah.
Self Esteem was my first Offspring song
Oh
ever, and I
yeah.
was like, "Holy fuck, this is so cool!" Um, but my wife actually bought me the vinyl for that album for Smash from the
Oh,
Offspring for
that's
Christmas. So
fun.
super cool.
Uh,
But and then after Offspring, I found Corn, and
oh,
that's Jonathan Davis. And that's where I was like, "Holy fuck!" Like,
yeah.
I need to pursue music. And then, fortunately, I was able to pick up a guitar and be like, "Oh, I can actually kind of do this shit." And
Yeah. Is the music something that you've always wanted to do?
uh, not until I actually started playing guitar. I think
Yeah.
it was music class in middle school where I first played an acoustic guitar, and I realized I could actually do it. And I was like, "Wow, this
Yeah.
feels pretty good." Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, that's it. So see, school's important sometimes. See,
Do you remember the first song that you wrote?
oh man, that's a good question. Oh shit, I think I
You
didn't put
think?
a name to it, but I think I kind of remember the riff. Wow. I remember I started playing when I first learned guitar, I was learning Nirvana, which is obviously the easiest shit you could ever learn on
Right.
guitar. And I'll never forget when I was, originally playing oh man, Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Uh,
I was using my thumb to wrap over the fret. And my one
right.
buddy's like, what's with the thumb, bro? And I'm like, I don't know. So I probably learned how to do it, after that, But
The
yeah,
excitement when you finally got it down and it sounded like what it was supposed to.
yeah, I was like, oh shit, okay. And I'm not using my thumb. I'm not
I
using my
can do
thumb. So
it. I can do it.
yeah, super cool feeling. Super cool feeling. It's
I
crazy.
love that. I love that. That's so fun. If someone is struggling with mental health or struggling with something in their life and they came to you, what is some advice that you would give to them?
Oh man, that's a great question. Um, it gets better. It
Yeah.
absolutely gets better. It's you might be dealing with a really dark situation or dark time right
Yeah.
now, but it will get better because I've been through it. I know a lot of people that have been through it. Just don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Yeah.
Just keep fucking fighting. Period.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
think there's a lot of giving. I think that there's a lot of giving up and I understand, right? Like I understand
Yeah.
because it feels like everything is so heavy, but life always like I always say everything always goes in ebb and flow. It always changes. So the good times they don't last, but you know what? Neither do the bad times. And so it goes
That's
up
right.
and down.
It's this fucked up ass balance is what it is. It's just
Right? Things
but
get good and
but
you're like, "Oh, this isn't going to last." Well, then it maneuvers and then something else happens and it's just one of those things. So I love to get everybody's kind of insight on what they would say to someone who came to them. Um
you learn to become very adaptable. And
yeah.
that's the key is becoming adaptable, because it's going to happen again, something bad's going to happen again, and just you kind of prepare yourself for it, and you get stronger each time.
Yeah, and I think sometimes though I'm not a fan of like the really shitty times in life, but I think about how shitty they were, but then understanding once I got out of that how good it can be. And
Yep,
without having it be so bad and have those experiences like you just wouldn't appreciate, it's just like bad relationships. Like you might be stuck in it, but it once you find something that works, like you wouldn't appreciate it that much.
exactly. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Yeah. You
Hmm.
got to learn to love it.
That's
So
it.
I guess the last question I'll do since I flip the switch here is why do you think that there is such a connection with mental health and with music?
I mean, music's magic, and that's what it is. That
Yeah.
it's pure emotion. There's a reason that everyone feels something when they hear a certain song,
Yeah.
and that's where that connection is with mental health and music. It can make you feel better.
Yeah.
It can, and I've also learned, if I'm really like if I'm having a really bad day and I'm really pissed off, I've also learned on the bad side is that if I keep listening to some really heavy dark shit, it keeps my bad mood kind of going. So,
Yeah.
you do got to kind of put on some happier, more upbeat stuff, and I've learned
Yeah.
that through my life as well.
Yeah.
That okay, I'm going down a really dark path. Let's
Yeah.
switch the atmosphere here, and
Yeah, no, I think one
but
of my favorite, like, and it's not necessarily a dark song, but if I'm pissed off at someone, I really love the Sick Puppies You're Going Down.
yep,
Um,
yep, sick puppies are going down. That's right. Great song.
yeah, it's like it's such a good song because I relate to it, but then it's like, okay, I got it all out singing and screaming it, so now let me move on to something that's
That's
not
right.
quite so I'm gonna kick your ass. So
One of my go-tos is "Come by Christ, Pull the Pin."
yeah,
Very, very, very good song.
yeah.
Or Motor Grader, which was Ivan Moody's previous band, and the song is called "Suffocate." Those two
Oh,
songs are just like
yeah.
just oh yeah, they're good. They're
Yeah,
good.
it's either they're really good workout songs or beat someone up songs or
That's
something, and
it.
that
That's
allows you to get all that out. So
both are okay. It's okay.
they are. There's purpose for them for sure. So well, I appreciate you coming on. It was so good to meet you. Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Authentic Life with KL, where we explore the powerful intersection of healing and music. If you enjoyed today's episode, please give a follow and share with your friends. You can find more information about The Authentic Life of KL and Kitty Lynn at kittylynn.com, KITTYLYNNE.com. Thanks so much for listening.